OpenAI just hired the creator of OpenClaw. At the same time, OpenClaw is rolling out inside browsers through Moonshot AI, getting deployed at scale through Baidu, and spreading faster than ever as an open-source agent platform. OpenAI didn't buy OpenClaw. It didn't take the project. But it did absorb the brain behind it, and that single move set off a chain reaction across the AI world. So let's talk about it. All right, let's rewind a bit. OpenClaw came out of nowhere late last year. Built by Peter Steinberger, an Austrian developer who's been around long enough to know what he wants and what he doesn't, it started as a scrappy open-source agent that could actually do things. Not chat, not answer trivia. Do things. It could sit on your machine, watch your inbox, deal with insurers, check you into flights, automate browser tasks, run commands, and keep working in the background without someone holding its hand every 5 seconds. That alone already put it in a different category. Most AI tools still wait for you to ask. OpenClaw wakes itself up. It has a heartbeat system. It checks what's going on, decides something needs to be done, and takes action. For a mainstream audience, that's the key difference. This feels less like a chatbot and more like software that acts on your behalf. And people noticed, fast. Within weeks, OpenClaw blew past 100,000 stars on GitHub. At one point, it pulled in around 2 million visitors in a single week. Developers loved it, power users loved it, and social media absolutely ran with it. Suddenly, everyone was talking about AI agents instead of prompts. But with speed comes chaos. OpenClaw had rebrands, trademark headaches, security scares, and at one point researchers found hundreds of malicious skills uploaded by bad actors. There were real concerns around people misconfiguring agents and exposing themselves to data leaks or cyber attacks. China's industry ministry even issued warnings about the risks. At the same time, Steinberger was reportedly burning between $10,000 and $20,000 a month just to keep things running. And that context is important. Now, enter OpenAI. Sam Altman comes out on X and drops the announcement. Peter Steinberger is joining OpenAI to work on the next generation of personal agents. OpenClaw will live on as an open-source project inside a foundation, with OpenAI continuing to support it. There was no acquisition announcement and no price attached to it. So technically, OpenAI wasn't buying OpenClaw. This was OpenAI hiring the mind behind it and letting the project stay open. Steinberger himself made it clear why. He's a builder. He already spent more than a decade building a company in the past. Running another one wasn't the goal. Changing how software works was. And OpenAI offered something others couldn't match: massive compute access, long-term alignment, a place where agent ideas could actually reach billions of users instead of staying stuck in GitHub threads. Altman didn't hide the strategy either. He talked openly about multi-agent futures, about agents talking to each other, coordinating, and becoming core to OpenAI's product lineup. In other words, this was about turning agents into a platform layer. And this move came at a very interesting moment. Because while OpenAI was locking in talent, China was locking in distribution. Just days before Lunar New Year, Baidu announced it was embedding OpenClaw directly into its flagship search app. That app has around 700 million monthly users. Let that number sit for a second. This instantly takes OpenClaw from something you run through Telegram or WhatsApp into something living inside one of the biggest consumer apps on the planet. Users can message it directly. They can use it for coding, organizing files, managing email, planning schedules, and doing everyday digital work without jumping between apps. And Baidu isn't stopping there. The plan includes e-commerce integrations and expansion across other services. This lines up with what Alibaba and Tencent are already doing. Alibaba pushed its Qwen chatbot deep into shopping apps like Taobao, where it helped process over 100 million orders in under a week. Tencent is moving in a similar direction. Everyone wants AI inside the flow of daily life, not sitting on a separate website. And here's the thing, OpenClaw fits that strategy perfectly. It's model agnostic. It can run on OpenAI models, Anthropic's Claude, DeepSeek, and others. That flexibility makes it incredibly attractive in China, where companies want control over infrastructure and model choice. But it also opens up a whole other conversation: data, security, and geopolitics. Cybersecurity firms like CrowdStrike have already raised red flags about giving autonomous agents deep access to business systems. When an AI can act, mistakes scale fast. And when those agents live inside massive platforms tied to national tech ecosystems, people start asking harder questions. And right in the middle of all this, Moonshot AI made its move. They launched Kimi Claw, which is essentially OpenClaw running natively in the browser on kimi.com. You don't have to mess with local setups or wrestle with Docker configs anymore. You open a browser tab and the agent is already there, persistent, always on, and running 24/7. This is a big shift. Kimi Claw comes with 40 gigabytes of cloud storage tied directly to the agent. That means it can hold large datasets, documentation, code bases, and use them across sessions. For anyone familiar with AI limits, this matters. Context usually disappears. Here, it sticks around. It also plugs into ClawHub, a library with over 5,000 community-built skills. These skills act like modular abilities. The agent can chain them together, call external tools, automate workflows, and interact with third-party services without someone writing custom integrations from scratch. Moonshot also added live data access through what they call pro-grade search. The agent can pull real-time information, like financial data, instead of guessing based on old training. That reduces hallucinations and makes it usable for time-sensitive work. And then there's BYOC. Bring your own claw. Developers can connect their own self-hosted OpenClaw setups to the cloud interface or bridge them into apps like Telegram. That hybrid approach keeps flexibility while offering convenience. From a product perspective, this is Moonshot betting on frictionless hosting. From a strategic perspective, it's China offering a polished, managed agent layer that competes directly with whatever OpenAI plans to roll into ChatGPT. And interestingly enough, Kimi Claw launched the same day Steinberger's move to OpenAI became public. Coincidence? Maybe. Strategic? Almost certainly. Now, reactions across the developer community are split. Some see this as OpenClaw winning, validation, scale, stability, a path into mainstream products used by hundreds of millions of people. Others worry about the soul of the project. They joke about closed claw. They worry corporate gravity will slowly reshape something that thrived on openness and chaos. Steinberger seems aware of that tension. He's been clear that OpenClaw stays open, MIT licensed, and foundation backed. OpenAI supports it, but doesn't own it, at least on paper. And for OpenAI, this hire sends a signal. After losing high-profile talent to Meta and seeing rivals gain ground, locking in someone who understands agents deeply is a strategic win, especially when Anthropic is pushing Claude deeper into enterprise workflows with tools like Claude Code and longer-running task execution. This race is shifting. Benchmarks still matter, of course, and people will keep arguing about model size, reasoning, and coding skills, but the real fight has shifted higher up the stack toward distribution, ecosystems, and who actually controls the layer where real work gets done. OpenAI is clearly leaning into talent and deep product integration, while Moonshot is pushing hard on cost-efficient, cloud-native agents, and Baidu is playing the scale game with massive consumer reach. Alibaba and Tencent are pulling AI straight into commerce, and right in the middle of all that sits OpenClaw, flexible enough to plug into every one of those strategies. So here's the real question. Was this a move to support open source agents, or a move to make sure the most important decisions happen inside OpenAI? Let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe, drop a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.